Greetings YouTube. That used to be a handrail like this one, but it just rotted. I mean completely rotted. It was not properly treated. They didn't pick the right kind, and it was very poorly installed. As you can see, they used nails. I attempted to hold this thing together with screws at one point, but I'm going to have to take that block off completely. So I am not going to replace this thing with another railing like this. That would be stupid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with a 2x4 pressure treated railing. So the 2x4 is going to go vertically here, not horizontal, vertical here. I'm going to use spacing blocks that come off here. And one of my goals, if I can, is to use one span which will come on either side of this vertical, which is the only vertical except for the ends. And by doing that, by having it be on either side of this with that same spacing, the railing is going to become structural, because the people that put this together nailed it together. They didn't use screws. At the time, I did not know much about contractors, and buying this building, this apartment building, damn near broke my mind. It sent me into the deepest, darkest, most horrible place I have ever been in my entire life, including the deaths of people who I love more than life itself. This place broke me. So I was not thinking clearly, and was not asking intelligent questions like, do you use pressure treated lumber? Do you use screws, or do you use nails? Because if the answers had been, we don't use pressure treated lumber and we use nails, not screws, I would have said thank you for your time and hired another fucking contractor. So this is going to have to be replaced. So next step is going to be deconstruction, and then I'm going to start laying stuff out and making a new rail. Quick note, it took absolutely no effort on my part to remove the wooden banisters. I needed no tools. Well, demolition is complete. Use a pry bar and my 48 ounce engineer's hammer, one of my favorite hammers, and discovered that the idiots that put this thing together didn't even use ring shank nails. These things are smooth. In fact, when I turned one of the blocks over while putting it on the banister, one of the nails just slid out and fell on the ground. It hurts me, pains me that I paid money for this. Okay, so demolition is finished, and I have my spacer blocks, and I have one clamped in place. I'm going to use the spacer block as a guide so I can drill the hole in the ramp itself. And I have 7 of these I'm going to need to do. 6 of them are going right back in the same locations that were already there. One is a new location because I'm actually going to span this. So there's going to be here, and then one rail will end here, and then I'll start the next one right there. So I want a block there. So this is going to be one here that wasn't in the other one. Because I'm trying to avoid as many measurements as possible. So by doing this, I can just drill right through without any kind of measurements at all. And then I will use the opposite trick, which is I'm going to drill a hole in the rail that holds the whole thing, so that no measurements at all. So everything will locate itself. At least that's the theory. Okay, so time to drill some more holes. Change of plans. I realized before I started drilling that I wanted to have the top of the rail flush with this and have finger room on top. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to drill the holes now, and then that will keep that flush, and then that will give me finger space. So, good save. Caught it in time. So here we go. Here is the handrail in place at the moment where I want it to be. And it is centered on these blocks. and clamped in place. Now I'm going to go through the back, and I went upstairs and I got lucky. I got this big ass drill bit, which I think I had originally for drilling holes through walls for putting coax cable through. I think that's what that's for. So I'm going to go through the back because there's a hole currently going all the way through the upright and this, and then I want to come through this way until I get to the outside and just crest, and then I'll come through this side. So I'm trying to minimize my split out, my splitting out. And then it's just a matter of sanding this and bolt it in place, and we're done with this rail, and then do the same thing for the other one. You have to let this age before you can seal it, so it's going to have to sit out here for a month or so, and hopefully we'll get it done before the end of, well, actually the first snow. That's what I like to avoid. So now we're going to go through the back and see if I can get this done. And there we have it. One new handrail. I'm not 100% sure I have this in the right orientation. I may actually have this upside down, but I'm really tired. It's been too long. So we're just going to leave it like this. And when it comes time to treat it with sealant, we're going to remove it anyway, so that we could seal all the sides and the blocks themselves completely, because this is completely disassemblable. It can be completely disassembled. Disassembleable? I don't know if that's a word. But I've used this new handrail to bridge this gap, because these two uprights and the verticals on the other side, I'll show you in a second, are actually separating. And I have put a number of metal plates, and I'll show you one of those in a minute, on this already, but this is going to do the same thing, and it's definitely not going anywhere. So let's go around the side, and it comes all the way down, and there was a feeder here until a little bit ago. Feeder's gone. So here's the end of it. So it's nice, comes almost perfectly flush with this. Then we come around here, and today I learned that these are called rose hips. I did not know that. There you go. That's what a rose hip looks like. But here we go. This is the gap, and you can see this thing is coming apart because it was installed with nails, which is bad. I mean, look at this. This is not how you do the job. Maybe this could be functional for an interior, where you're not dealing an interior wall, where you're not dealing with moisture and cold heat cycles, but it sure as shooting isn't good enough for out here. So yeah, really not happy with that. However, you can see these are overly large because they don't make 7-inch bolts. They make 6 or 8. So I may, if I get really ambitious someday, come back here and cut these off so they're flush. But at the moment, this is the backside where nobody ever goes, so they're not causing us any problems, and maybe I'll find a use for them. Who knows? I can hang something off this, or flower pots or something. Who knows? But yeah, that's this. And now you come down here, and you can see that this is one of the plates that I have installed. This is a box for one of the medical alert buttons that people wear. My mother-in-law has one, and I have a U-bolt that's hanging outside, and you can't see it from the street, which is nice. But yeah, so this is holding in place with these, and so this is all nice and secure. So there you have it. So now it's cleanup time. Thank you, Lara, for your assistance. She was indispensable today. Literally could not have done this without her. You need to.
I only angered him once.
Things didn't go perfect. Let's put it that way. But they're done, and now we can clean up, and I need to go get some food because I've pushed myself far too long. But when I get into the building zone, I do not want to stop. So thank you for your watching my video concerning the rose bush is kind of trying to attack me. My mother-in-law's new railing. Yay for railings! Bonus footage. This is my Ryobi chop saw, which I paid 15 bucks for at a flea market. I mean, at a yard sale, because the guy didn't want it anymore. It's a 10-inch chop saw. It worked beautifully. I cut all my spacer blocks, cut my railings to length. This thing is a dream. You can make compound cuts. It's got a built-in stop block. Just an incredibly useful little machine, and I paid 10% of what it normally costs. So a bargain, and it worked really well today. Paid for itself in one project.